Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say, is even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene. It's the bigger love of the family.
Welcome in to yet another illustrious, beautiful, fantastic Thursday evening. It's your host, Chief, and Wilson. With your mic being up as high, it kind of reminds me of Wilson from Tool Time, being behind the
I
fence.
think about Wilson from Castaway. I'm like,
No, like this. That's Bane. This is more Wilson.
no, Wilson like the bloody paw.
Oh, I see. Welcome in to our first commenter of the evening, Mac Bergson. Never fails. Most of the time, he's there all the time.
He's fantastic.
Charles Adamson, Jay Bates, Sean Crawley, Banker John, Gary Zanstra, Caleb Betts, Adam Wolf, and more to trickle in, hopefully, throughout the evening. We're sitting at a steady 10 so far, so we'll see how far and wide Chief Talk spreads this evening. Caleb Betts, get the heater blasting right on my face. Coming in with the hashtag dry box. What are you dry boxing this evening? Michael Zakvek says, evening, guys. Evening, Mr. Michael. Mac Burton says, hey, everybody. Jay Bates says, ooh, can we get BTCG and Wilson from Tool Time on air with Chief behind the scenes? Oh, there he goes. Automatically, right out the gate. And then he comes in with the Mac Attack. What's up, buddy? Old Tom Fisher from Bourbon Blog says, cheers from your friends at Bourbon Blog. Hello, Tom Fisher. How you doing this evening? I want to know, what are you guys smoking? What are you guys drinking? Currently finishing off a Liga Privada H99 Toro. Good size, not the best. Actually, I was hoping to get a Super Ancho, but you had a bunch of Toros on top of the Super Anchos, so I just grabbed the Toro.
What in there?
Yeah. But Bob Cigar, what are you smoking over there?
I am finishing up what I think is the Punch Chop Suey. I'm having the Punch, and it had the long little strip down the thing, and I think that was the Chop Suey.
Oh.
Trying to pull out stuff in my little humidor that I just keep passing over every time.
You got a new humidor in the studio. Mike Zakis got a JFR Connecticut. I actually almost pulled out.
I almost grabbed a small lunatic.
I almost pulled out a lunatic this evening.
With the gold.
I've got the Habano over here, which is probably what you're talking about, because it's got the gold.
Yeah, that's one.
This is the JFR Lunatic Habano, short robusto. So maybe that'll be the cigar. That's going to be the cigar I light up next, because we should be getting into a new cigar here soon this evening. Michael Zakek says, great cigar, Chief. Adam Wolf smoking an El Mago Miami Pepe with a Baja Blast. Ooh, man, hit Taco Bell this evening. Jay Bates rocking the usual Peppermint Rogue and good old H2O. Drinking that water. I also am drinking some water, but it's in a cup from Hardee's. Bob Cigar Guy rocking the diet Pep over there. Have you guys? How was your week? One, how's your week been since last week? And two, have you had the chance to smoke anything over the last week that just kind of rocked your socks and said, "Man, that's a cigar I really need to get a hold of again." I myself haven't smoked much since last week. I think I smoked on Saturday. I did smoke on Saturday a couple cigars, and then I smoked on Monday. That's been about it. What did I smoke on the way over here? What did I smoke? Oh, I smoked the Diamond Crown Maximus. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you saw I posted some J.C. Newman Diamond Crown Maximus yesterday on the gram, and today what's going on with your light over there? Do you have it on a heartbeat sensor?
I have it on candlelight.
Oh, that's what it is. Adam Wolf says, no Taco Bell. They sell it at the local Publix. And then he puts in bracket grocery store. Like, we know what Publix is.
The best grocery store ever.
No. Lowe's grocery is the best grocery store ever.
If you want to drink while you shop, maybe.
The bakery's better. The meat selection's better.
No, the meat selection is great. I mean, I can, and the sausages and all this stuff, but the bakery, not so much.
Russ Brown, he's got the Cinco de Cinco, aka not Bob's Blend.
Bob's Blend.
And a Pepsi. It'd have to be a Connecticut, and it's not a Connecticut.
CDCBB, that's right.
Oh, my boy Mike. We were just talking about you a little bit ago, Mike. Last smoke was the Luciano Foreign Affair. It was all right. You know, I was hoping to like more from Luciano's lines that Luciano is, because like ATL, I think it's Ave Maria. No, maybe it's not Ave Maria. It's something Maria. I just not a big fan, and I haven't had the Foreign Affair. Now, speaking of Foreign Affair, our boy Justin, the Owl, his photo of the Foreign Affair was featured in Cigar Aficionados magazine.
Oh.
So big shout out, Dead Leaf Breakfast Club on the map, baby. Adam Wolf says, I know you know Publix, but most people don't. Well, I guess you're right there. I got to give you your accolades. You got me there. Charles Adamson's got a Los Six Provincia and plantation pineapple rum with a monster as a chaser. Now, I know the plantation pineapple rum, I believe, is what Adam Wolf was drinking on last week, if I can remember. Banker John says, how about the pig? Yeah, we know the pig.
You gotta dig the pig.
I don't know if there are many Piggly Wigglies left.
I think they're pretty much gone.
I know IGA is still a thing, slightly. At least last time I checked. We don't have. Well, there is an old IGA down the road a little bit, but I'm not sure if it's an IGA anymore. Yeah,
it's gone.
Oh, is it? Dan Bird says, keeping it dark tonight, like a nightclub. We've actually, the past 3 weeks, have gone with the lights off in studio. We're trying some things out via live stream. Now, you've been doing some of this in your weekly videos,
right? I've been starting to work it into the video. I mean, that's the goal. And so I tried a different layout today where I've got my light directly in front of me instead of off to the side, and I've got the backlight.
That's like I was saying earlier.
Behind me, shining up.
It's kind of cool how it's blue. It kind of makes everything a little blue behind you.
Right.
I was saying earlier before the show started, as we were getting set up, that I think it actually looked better if he just took all the lights off, and it was just a voice over there.
And now a message from the haters.
Now speaking of Agnorsta, you're wearing an Agnorsta t-shirt.
I'm a Cigar dad.
A
Guardian
Guardian of the Farm.
Guardian? Okay.
Which that was the first ever Agnorsta cigar I ever had.
I like that cigar.
It's a really good cigar.
I like
You
that
remember
cigar.
when we got that cigar?
Yes.
When?
We got it at the Sir Strawing show,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't smoke it right then because after tasting the Sir Strawing, you can't taste anything else we're talking about. That's awful. That is awful. Charles. I'm trying to. I will never look good, but I will try to make the production quality better. And so,
20 people.
lots of studies
Congratulations, everybody. We've done 7 weeks in a row.
about shadows and about all this other stuff. Trying to make it look more professional, so that the millennials would watch.
Adam Wolf says Luciano does The Sergeant, which was great. Dan Burns says, didn't get a chance to smoke since last week, but got my PBR for after work tonight. Nice. Sean Crawley says, really enjoyed a Wise Man Maduro.
Love the El Wawence Maduro.
Great cigar. Now, the El Wawence and the Wise Man are two different blends.
Actually, yes.
It's a red and a blue.
It's the same with a Maduro wrapper. The El Wawence,
The Wise Man is Maduro.
right? But El Wawence is Wise Man, and so they changed the
Correct,
name.
but
Name.
They're two different blends because it's just like the
Two different wrappers,
It's like the Mucho Ratons, red and blue.
right? But the blends are the same. The wrapper is different. on that
Whoa!
one.
I don't know what I did
Peace
there.
sign.
Oh, is that what did it? Oh. Again, we learned last week that my computer now does funny, silly things.
Now, if you'll open your mouth and stick out your tongue,
No.
flames will come out of it.
You do it because now you're on your computer.
I've got the microphone away.
Yeah. Charles Adamson says BTCG is now a set and lighting artiste.
Working hard.
I would say he's more of a fartiste.
God,
French.
The shade in here is just
Adam Wolf says
abysmal.
plantation rum is good. I have been drinking a lot of rum since I started prepping the house to sell. Yeah, you're soon to kick it back to North Carolina soon, right? Mac, you're right. He is old. Charles Adamson, you still have to do an occasional porch video for us old folks. Well, the last one kind of porchy was sitting in the rain just a couple weeks ago, right?
It was just a couple weeks ago, sitting in the rain, right on the stoop.
Yeah, the Macho Raton. I love that cigar. Big fan of those because those are like the pigs from Foundation.
Yeah.
Adam Wolf says El Wawence is a Corojo wrapper and the Wise Man is Maduro. I think I like the El Wawence. The El Wawence is blue, I believe, while the Wise Man is black or red.
Red. I like the Wise Man best.
Yeah, I think it's the blue is what I prefer. Both good smokes.
Both great smokes. Fantastic.
But I'm pretty sure, at least in the Macho Raton, that's what I seem to prefer. Sammy Flo says, "Good evening." Sammy Flo and I, he's posted since last week, Thursday. He's posted 2 Adventura cigars.
I was thinking you were going to say that.
He posted one and was waiting on me to catch it, and I caught it. And then the next one he tagged me in it.
That's funny.
I
I like that funny back and forth.
Yeah, no, it's good. It develops a camaraderie.
Yeah, I agree.
Camaraderie.
As long as people are kind and nice, and y'all are. Sammy's awesome.
We love Sammy. Sammy's great.
So,
William W. back from the grave says, "Hey everybody, what's going on, my man? How are you doing this evening? Are you smoking anything this evening? And if anybody who is smoking and hasn't yet mentioned what they're smoking or drinking this evening, please do let me know. I'm finishing up an H99 Toro. Great cigar. Love this cigar. But I am looking forward to getting into this lunatic Habano, right? Is that what I said? Yes. the JFR Lunatic Habano out of Aganorsa.
You know what JFR stands for?
John F. Rockefeller.
Just for retail.
Really?
Yes. That's the JFR lines, just for retail.
What?
Brick and mortar only.
Oh, so that makes sense. So how do you say just for retail when online is still retail?
They can say whatever they want to. They own the company.
Yeah. David Helm says, "Hello, gentlemen."
Hey, my man.
William W. is smoking a prime rib, like as in the meat or a red meat lovers? Because I think that one of his Vitolas is called a prime rib, right?
I'm not sure.
I couldn't see them having the ribeye and all that stuff.
Meat stick and...
St. Flo says, I'm outside enjoying the cold breeze with an Underground 10. Surprise that I meant to smoke after work, but got busy. Oof. St. Flo keeping the streets hot. Old William W. He says he's smoking the meat. Nice. I hope it comes out great. I hope you're at the tail end of your smoke so you get to enjoy it soon. I was looking for a smaller lighter, but I don't think I have any currently near me. So I'm just have to.
I'm seeing the ribeye. There's a box press that doesn't have a name.
So Steve Saka did put out a post yesterday, I believe, and I almost put it into a press release, but he said more information to follow, and so I thought, well, maybe he's going to put out an actual press release, or I'll just wait on an actual release. But with that being said, I'll actually come over here to Facebook and.
So there are 4 sizes: filet mignon, beef stick, ribeye, and porterhouse.
What did he say? So yesterday he said, quick PCA 2024 release list: Sober Mesa Brule Wagashi limited production. So I wonder. I know we had talked about that a couple weeks ago about the Wagashi going national. I wonder if that is just going to be a yearly release with it being limited production through Smoke Inn.
I think I heard that it is going to be core line.
Okay.
So,
make sure I can still see my comments going over here. Then he's got a new size in the Sin Compromiso number 4 of Robusto.
I'm looking forward to trying that.
The Stillwell Star Aromatic number 22, which was the first holiday Stillwell Star,
is going to be a regular
becoming
production.
A core line. Yeah. So it was originally called the Holiday 2022. So now it's going to be called the Stillwell Star Aromatic number 2020 or number 22.
Right.
Coming alongside number 1, which was the original aromatic, if I do remember correctly. Then completely new to my knowledge cigar and blend is the Umbagog Bronzeback. It's a 5x48 Parejo, so it's
torpedo straight sides.
Well, I'm trying to think of. Yes, Parejo is like the normal.
Parejo is Parejo's got the regular, just like that.
Yeah,
one.
Parejo is a normal Vitola.
Round the cap straight sides.
So 5x48, so like a little thicker Corona, maybe.
Is it a Lancer or a Lonsdale?
No.
You couldn't tell the difference anyway. I could, but
he calls it a special 2LS Liga. So I don't know what the special 2LS stands for. Then he's launching the hashtag GFY Lancero collection, limited production 10 count sampler. You guys can.
So he's made 10 Lanceros, 10 different Lanceros.
He's got 1, so he's made 9 more.
I know there was.
I imagine he's just rolled up.
There was cracks and kicks about him coming out with a Candela Lancero.
Mm-hmm. And then the long-awaited Guillotina de Saca cigar cutter. I know you guys have never seen one of those.
Like that right there. See me show yours on camera so we can see them side by side. Oh, wait. You don't have one. You don't have one. This is exclusive beta testing. Anybody with money can buy yours, but mine, it's not even for sale. I'm just saying. Just saying. And mine has a replacement blade. Does yours?
Mine doesn't need it.
I'm gonna tell Steve. I'm gonna tell Steve. No, 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 no. He
and
likes me
then-
better anyway.
And then he said additional details to follow.
I mean, he waits on your palate.
I was gonna say
But-
he complimented my palate more
He
than yours.
likes me. He likes me. You're just a tool. He likes me.
Let's see. How far can I get back to that post real quick?
You are +1.
That says something about him enjoying my palate more than yours or something like that.
He didn't say that.
What was it exactly?
He did not say
I'm
that.
going to find it. Hold on. Here we go. So, like father, like son? Not exactly. Stephen Finley of Chevette Report and Bob the Cigar Guy has always done his own reviews, ranking and top lists. And his likes and my likes when it comes to cigars often line up. So even though he is one of the younger reviewers, I am always curious about his tasting notes.
You know, it's funny, though. On your list, how many times did you have a Saka cigar on your list?
Twice.
Some of us.
You're pandering. That may not seem like much
Four.
of a compliment, but trust me, it is. I think most folks' palates are pretty okay. Gonna stop and embrace his father's positivity. Be nice, be kind. Deep Zen breath. F that. Most people's palates are pretty sketchy, in my opinion. I will 100% defend their right to having their own opinion and writing in ranking and rating however is right for them, but that doesn't mean I'm going to pretend to GAF. What I'm saying is Stephen Finley's palate does not suck.
Now, Stephen's not going
And he
to.
says, yes, that is very high praise.
Stephen's not going to speak about what he said about me in the post he said about me. Of course.
No, because there's mass documentation of how much Steve applauds you and the way you do things and whatnot. But
and even in
I will
complimenting you, he tried to channel me.
and then he couldn't.
Well, and that's testament right there.
So William W. says, it's tough when you have cigar maintenance that needs to be done and you really just don't want to go in there. Woo, hard life. When my 2-year-old kicks fits all the time, I said, man, I know it's hard being 2. And it's one of the things that, I'll tell Dad, and every once in a while, it's like, man, I got to do 5, 6, 7 reviews this weekend, whatever. It's like, oh man, that sure sucks. The smoking part obviously doesn't suck. Compiling and putting together reviews and Chevette Report articles and stuff, like all you do over there is just hard.
It used to be really easy for me to do reviews because I didn't worry about production quality and zooming in and zooming out and taking pretty pictures and all this and that. I could get through editing in half an hour.
Yeah.
It takes a lot longer now. It's just, ugh.
But imagine though, like if you would have, or if we would have, because I'm going to say if you, because obviously you don't want to put out most of the reviews, a large majority of the reviews. Imagine if you would have put that time and dedication, and we would have had the stuff to do it, right? Over the past 5-6 years, how much different this channel could look.
7 years ago, roughly, I put out my first video, which was me fixing my truck, doing CAO flathead. And I watched it and I cringed at a lot of it, but I really, really did.
That's how I feel like every week.
But then I saw that I said, smoke easy and Semper Fi. It's your money, it's your palate.
Oh.
And then what's funny is I also saw in the first video, not saying that anybody's a thief in this room, I said, smoke what you like what you smoke. And that's somebody's has been catchphrase.
Has it been a catchphrase?
We had t-shirts with it made on it. And you were the one that made the t-shirts. The Bob the Cigar Guy on the front had Smoke Easy and Semper Fi, and the Chief logo on the
I
front.
never had a Chief logo t-shirt.
Yes, you did.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, don't make me go.
I'd have one.
Don't make me go out there and get it. I get it. It's the big logo of the Viking, and it says, "Smoke what you like what you smoke."
I think that's just a general sentiment because you didn't come up with that either.
Yeah,
Now,
off the top of my head.
The Smoke Easy Semper Fi, obviously that's like a coined Bob the Cigar Guy phrase. I mean, that's like, unless there was another Marine Corps reviewer out there, it's a possibility.
Good probability. There's a lot of people come to find out called Carl the Cigar Guy and John the Cigar Guy and this and that the Cigar Guy. I didn't know they were out there, but I happened to.
Yeah, I know there's a couple people on Instagram that are like that.
No. I almost want to look back and see who was the cigar guy first, but then I'm like, that's a rabbit hole. I'm just trying to.
We just
trying
wanted
to pad
Bob
my
the Cigar
ego.
Guy because we didn't want to come up with, because originally you wanted to do
Average Bob.
Yeah,
cigar
Average
smoker,
Bob Cigar Smoker.
which is what I started off at.
Sean Crawley is smoking a Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve barrel fermented.
God,
Nice.
that thing smokes good forwards.
You and
or
I
backwards.
both smoked one of those on Sunday.
Yeah, we did.
For the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
And you smoked it the
Regular.
traditional way.
I do it.
Now,
it
speaking of
depends on how I
smoking
feel.
cigars, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my next cigar. And this is the JFR Lunatic Habano.
Which I like Habano.
I like Habano as well.
I like Habano. A good Habano.
I think a good Habano tends to lend to the creamy side a little bit.
But there's still that depth. It's not creamy enough to be like a shade, and it's not heavy enough to be like a Maduro.
Are you saying that creamy cigars can't have depth?
I'm saying most creamy cigars do not have a lot of depth.
They're just creamy.
No, they're just on that lighter palette. They're on that, like if it was colors, it would be the lighter tans, it would be the lighter blues, it would be the lighter reds. And also, did you know that pink is the only lighter shade of a color that has its own name? Light blue, light brown. Well, I guess light brown is tan. Light brown is tan. So
Yeah, I might need to do a little thinking on that part.
That's wrong.
William W. says 7 years. That's awesome.
And there's only one Mac Bergson in my heart.
Dan Burns. I'm thinking of getting a bigger humidor than my 2-round acrylic ones. I'm thinking of getting one that can hold up to 50, but it needs to be acrylic. Any suggestions?
All right, so let's
50?
let's jump into this. Stephen, if you'll pull me up big screen so it can be in the picture. Saturday, I found this wine fridge on Facebook Marketplace for $20. It's almost 3 foot tall. It's almost 2 foot wide and 2 foot deep. It holds about 14 to 20 boxes of cigars. I paid $20 for that thing, and she says it doesn't keep temperature. It won't get cold enough. It had all the lights. It's got all of this. It's got all of that. It's got the stainless. It's got the shelves that hold the boxes. I paid $20 for that, and the plan is that I will go online and buy. You can get a pack of 10 of the big fat Bovita packs for about $45, $50. I'm going to buy 2 sets of those 10s, and I'm going to put 10 of them in there to work my humidity and keep an eye on the humidity. And then when those start to dry out, I'll pull those out. I will recharge those and put the other 10 in. So literally for $120, I've got a huge humidor. So the thing I'm saying is there are tons of these winadors people are tired of, and they just sell them for little to nothing. Pick those things up, and they work well, because all a humidor is it's a place where the cigars can be humidified in a airtight sealed container that you can gain access to, and that fits the bill. So
now what I will say is, how long have we been looking for humidors on Marketplace? Right, we check Marketplace all the time. It's very rare that you're gonna. It's kind of funny when I sent the picture to the Deadly Breakfast Club. I think it was Justin.
you sent a picture of that?
Yeah, had sent something back to the effect of, sounds like somebody's getting divorced. Seems like a divorce estate sale. Some scorned wife or scorned husband is getting rid of their significant other's humidor. Bob Ellis says, hello, everyone. Hey, running a little late. No worries. Glad to have you here. Hope
Now-
you're going to spark something up.
Now that I have looked at that on Marketplace, I've got so many on my feed right now. It's crazy how many there are on my feed and the prices. I actually was asking another guy about one, and he didn't get back to me. And he finally got back to me, and it was $50. It was the same size, same condition. And he said somebody was supposed to buy it. They didn't buy it. They didn't come by. I'll sell it to you for $20. And I'm like, oh, crap, I don't need another one. And so I was
Whatever, man.
I was thinking about where are we gonna put the dang thing?
I don't know. We found it somewhere.
I
We're
was-
running out of room.
I was thinking about picking it up and maybe flipping it.
I was gonna
and-
say, buy it for 20 and sell it for
right.
60.
And I was like, but there's a guy at work who's a friend of mine who's a kind of a new cigar smoker. I taught him how to do tuppadors, and he's talking about his tuppadors are full. And I said, hey, $20. Let me hook you up with the information. And he was supposed to go and pick it up, and he's gonna do that himself. So
But to continue on, so I, for the longest time, and still use acrylic humidors, Dan. And while they don't hold 50 cigars, these Rubbermaids,
are expensive.
yeah, $15 to $20 a piece.
Yeah, Steven bought that for the price of me buying that.
Correct. The great thing about this, though, is it doesn't require power at all. This is Bodapacks
Portable.
right here, right? It's also, if I'm gonna go somewhere, if I wanted to come here and grab a whole bunch of cigars from the studio, if I didn't go over here every week, I'd probably, honestly, if I wasn't over here every week, if I was streaming from my own house, I probably would have jacked this $20 humidor and taken it home.
And those stack. I mean, those,
Yeah.
That,
well, and that's the thing is I can break it up by company. I can break it up by blends. I can break it up by infused,
like Tolas, you can do anything.
non-infused.
Yeah.
If you get a bunch of Robustos, you can fit 30, 40 Robustos in that
Yeah.
thing. But the biggest thing I liked about it is it has a nice thick seal around the edge, and then it has two clicking, locking, folds.
Yeah, I went
on
with
the
the cheaper Walmart ones.
My boy.
But they didn't look half as good as Stevens does. And I mean, they do
I
stack.
hated those things.
I think I still got one up there too.
I got one over here somewhere, but I'm not digging it out.
They still they stacked well. It's kind of like the Maya Angelou thought of when you know better, do better. So start off with what you can start off with, and just slowly work yourself up. And what I would highly suggest is once you work yourself up, you're making friends with cigars. They're hanging out with you, this and that, and you're going to find somebody new, and you're going to say, hey, let me hook you up. Put a couple of cigars you don't smoke in there, throw a Vita pack in there, and say, hey, here's your new humidor.
Now I'll plug both of my boys here, Supremo Tobacco, and if he's still in here, Photos de Puros, my boy Mike and Brian. They have discount codes to New Air, to I believe it's any of the New Air products. I don't remember what it is, if it's a discount code or a promo code or whatever it is. But if you do like get your taxes back and you want to be a little hood rich, you can go splurge on a nice New Air system.
Well, you can also go to Cigar.com and you can get one of their humidors for 15% off if you use all caps Chief Talk.
I don't think Cigar.com has.
Yes, they do, because we saw them at PCA.
I think those are just sold through quality importers. I don't think they're sold through Cigar. Duran73, what's going on? How you doing this evening? Brian says Sistema large food storage containers are going for $15 on Amazon right now. That's what I started with and still using. Also, Brian, the company, is it Cigar Bros, who partnered with Bovida, and they made a
Some of that cool tactical sticker boxes.
No, this is made out of like old school fishing cooler material. That's that compressed styrofoam.
Right. I saw those. They had them at PCA. People were standing on them.
Yeah.
What were those called?
Let me see.
Yeah, they weren't that expensive either.
I'm logging over here to
Black, high density polystyrene or whatever.
yeah.
Charles Adamson said, while you said that, I just asked the new AI co-pilot. Bob Finley is the original The Cigar Guy reviewer. Hashtag mic drop. All right, that's cool. My ego just roll up a little bit. I feel cool.
Brian, how long
feel
did you
special.
post that thing? I'm scrolling his. Here we go. Yeah, it is Cigar Pros. Just gonna come over here and present share screen window here. Share. Oh, great. I don't.
EPP, that's expanded polypropylene.
Well, I was gonna do it, but it says my Google Chrome has lost access, and then I have to restart my whole entire Google Chrome. I'm not doing that. But if you go to Supremo Tobacco's Instagram, actually, I'm gonna copy this web link.
Now, I went to Mac Berkson's second home, Harbor Freight, and when we were doing stuff for Barn Smokers and a couple years ago and getting all the cigars for the giveaways, I actually bought some of the fake Pelican cases, and they hold humidity really, really well. And they're solid. I mean, you can stack them good, and you get them in different sizes. I've got the big old size, so.
Yeah, there's all. I mean, you can do coolers.
Yeah, that I don't like coolers because when you get a big cooler and you put all your cigars in there, the cigar you want is always at the bottom, right? You got to unpack everything to get to it. The cost of one of these winadors is so negligible if you buy them on the secondary market. And in all honesty,
well, let's be real,
unless you live in a very hot or a very cold climate,
$20,
need
you're
climate
not
control.
going to find another one like that unless it's a situation like this one where people were wanting to use it for wine and it wouldn't hold the temperature right. You know, if they were cigar smokers, they probably never would have sold it. They probably would have just converted it into a cigar smoking.
She actually looked at when I got there. She was telling me about that I could get a Freon kit to fix it. I said, I'm not going to worry about temperature. I put cigars in there. She goes, yeah, I thought you were going to because I looked on your YouTube channel or I looked on your Facebook thing and it said that you do cigar reviews.
Now, my boy Chico Ray just sent me this. And this is a wine cooler that he turned into a cigar humidor. Really dope. Nice, Chico Ray. That's a fantastic cabinet.
I saw one of those, but they wanted $300 for it.
But for that though, $300, that ain't bad.
No, it was it was 55 inches. I mean, it was.
Dan Burns, I believe it's March 15th when they go on sale. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's February, March. Yeah, because I think they're doing their Freestyle Live on the 14th when they reveal what the Freestyle Live blend is, and then just noticed my calendar did not save. Oh, it's because I put it on my calendar on my other computer. I need to update that. I don't have any of my PCA information on my calendar.
Oh no.
I just got to port it over from my other computer. Brian says, yeah, those Harbor Freight cases are fantastic.
They are.
I've not used one for cigars, but I've got a 50 count from, I think it's Gurkha. It was the Gurkha Sniper Series.
It was a Sniper Series,
and it's basically the same thing. So they are good. The one thing I don't like about doing that type of case, one of the reasons why I love acrylic or I love things that have the glass doors on them, is you can see it.
Yeah,
you can see where stuff is.
Fair enough.
You can see, like, because I've got like 8 of those Rubbermaid containers in my house in my closet along a shelf that I built at the very top of the closet.
God, you got a lot of cigars.
And I do. Not denying that. A lot of cigars I'll probably never smoke either.
But you don't take them from here, so you're getting people to send you cigars to the house. I see. What
I take cigars from here every week.
Do you really?
Sure do.
Good for you.
If I didn't, we'd be swimming in cigars right now.
We are swimming in cigars right now.
So, retired rookie cigar says, and here I thought my 33-liter King Chi for 179 was a good deal. No, when I came in on Sunday and he had this thing, and I walked back out and I said, "Where'd that come from?"
I have 3 questions.
Yeah, well, that pertained to other stuff that doesn't pertain to the stream, but yeah, I was kind of blown away. Let me open this up. I can actually swing my camera over.
Here's a Magic Chef wine cooler.
So it's
not cooling.
Woohoo! There goes the door.
Heifer looks like it's about 3 feet tall, about 2 feet wide, 2 foot deep.
Yeah,
$40.
That one doesn't have the cool wooden shells.
No, it doesn't have the cool wooden shells. That's why I didn't even buy it. I didn't even look at it.
But still, I mean, if you're somewhat savvy, right, with wood tools and wood and all that kind of stuff, I mean, you can make yourself some nice shelves to go in there.
Yeah. You can just put empty cigar boxes in there, and then put your cigars on the empty cigar boxes.
You could break down cigar boxes and use that.
Yeah.
Brian says, I thought about getting one of the Harbor Freight cases for my camera gear. So actually, that's the only one I've ever bought was when I had to ship my camera off last year to get fixed, and it ended up just being the lens. But that's what I ended up doing, was buying one of the smaller ones because it comes packed with foam.
Right.
And so I just cut out the exact shape of my camera,
stuck it in there,
and put it in there and shipped it up. Dang. Cigarette says marketplace for $50.
Yeah.
When he got his
it's crazy. People just get rid of them because they get tired of keeping wine, or the thermal whatever goes out.
Oh, somebody's grandpa dies, or husband passes on, or you get a divorce, or you're downsizing your home. Right. You just don't want to move it. Hey, come pick this thing up. You're really doing me a favor by getting this thing out of my house. I don't have any room where I'm going. I bought a new one. And that's especially within, people who are buying wine, and a lot of times people who are buying, big stuff for cigars, like they've got the money to be able to buy and replace. And some, like me, like I always, like when I'm looking at knives, right? I'll buy a knife and it's like 2 days later they release another version of the knife that's not really that much different, but it just looks cooler. And it's like, oh, I gotta have it. Now I'm too broke to be jumping from knife to knife, but
that's funny.
Bob says, I never have enough sticks to worry about seeing what's inside. You never know. It's kind of like, it's funny. We talk about, every once in a while it comes up how Bob used to be in the little bitty shed out there, and it was just full of stuff. And then we built something that was 10 times the size, and it's like, oh, we're going to have all this room to play and have, fun in.
Full of stuff.
And it's, oh crap, now we need another one. So it's like, as soon as you buy something big enough to fill, like in my camera bags, I had one camera bag that did me well for a long time. I bought a camera bag that was bigger so that I didn't feel like it was so crammed in there. And then 5 weeks later, my camera bag's full of more stuff that I couldn't put in my first camera bag. And so, you buy a bigger humidor, you might start buying more cigars.
So here's an Edge Star humidor.
You can show the camera.
Here's an Edge Star humidor that they said it won't hold humidity. $150.
But shoot, even if that's the case, if it doesn't hold humidity, right? Buy some clear acrylic cases, throw Boveda packs in them, and then just put them in there, and then you've got a nice contained spot. Or try to figure out where the humidity is leaking out. If you don't care about it being I think
it's not humidifying,
a conditioned unit or whatnot,
right?
Seal that bad boy up, cut the cord, and just stack it somewhere pretty. Put you some battery-powered LEDs in there that you can cut on and cut off from a remote whenever you're in your man cave or your garage or whatever, and go with it that way. Dan Burns says, "Sounds like you need a cigar giveaway soon." Actually, so tonight is titled Prepping for the Madness. So I kind of been running with an idea over the past 24 hours or so. With March Madness coming up, I thought it would be kind of cool to do something March Madness-esque, but also support and give a little bit of airtime to the 4 cigar companies who sponsor the Bob the Cigar Guy YouTube channel. This year we have added 2 new sponsors, and I think you've dropped the first one, right? Or have you uploaded that one yet?
Villiger?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've brought on Villiger this year, and we are about to bring on JC
You don't watch
Newman.
all my videos still?
I thought I had seen it, but I didn't know if it was one of those things that you put up.
It was the Villiger
1888.
1888
Um,
Habano, I think it is,
so we've added.
with the spinny table.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
We've added Villiger, and we're adding JC Newman. So congratulations, everybody, Chief Talk. They're not sponsoring Chief Talk yet, but they are sponsoring Bob the Cigar Guy and the Bob the Cigar Guy Empire Universe, whatever you'd like to call it.
And they're sponsoring PC After Dark.
Yeah, and then we have Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust, obviously, and then we do have a cigar company who sponsors Chief Talk. That's right. Drew Estate sponsors Chief Talk every single week, and other parts of the channel. They're going to sponsor PCA again this year. So,
They sponsor Drew's Day.
Big shout out to Drew Estate. But we thought, because tournaments are, the March Madness tournament is broken up into 4 regional areas. What is it? The north, the south, the east, and the west, or however they decide to label it every year. I thought about, what if we do a Drew Estate quadrant, a JC Newman quadrant, a Villiger Cigars quadrant, and a Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust quadrant, and battle out for 4 weeks, each individual brand, and then we're gonna do PCA the second to last week of March, and then one of the last days of March is a Thursday. And so come back on that last Thursday of March and do a final showdown brawl of Dumbarton, the champion from Dumbarton, the champion from Drew Estate, the champion from Villiger, and the champion from JC Newman.
So now, who's going to pick the champions?
So I have to flesh this out. I've got to figure out exactly how I'm going to do this. But everybody's going to get a vote. So I've got to figure out how many blends from each company are going to be represented. So obviously, if you do Drew Estate, you could do 30 blends. Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust, you could do 20 blends, 15, 20 blends.
Yeah.
JC Newman, you got a lot of blends there. Villiger, I'm not as well versed on Villiger's allotment of blends currently, so it's really going to depend on how many Villiger has. 16 is the number, right, that they do in the basketball tournament. If I do remember correctly, at least 16 games to start off with. I could be wrong, maybe 8. And then just allow it to
sneeze.
Thank you for sneezing.
One more for fun.
Go the other way. And then allow it to, each week it's company battling itself, and then at the end, because I think if you were to just go, because I think there's going to be a lot of blends on there that a lot of people haven't smoked yet. Especially with myself and Villiger, I haven't smoked. I probably have not smoked. Actually, I know I haven't, because I've only smoked like 3 blends from Villiger. Now I know we have some new stuff from Villiger here in the studio, or at least new to us here here in the studio, and I might have to do a little drive down to a local humidor and see if Villiger's carried at that humidor. I bet Boda probably has Villiger, but try my best, but then lean upon the masses of the people of Chief Talk. I'm going to try. I was telling Bob earlier that I wish I would have thought about this about a month ago, so I could have been like, "Hey, so and so from Drew Estate or Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust or wherever, I'd love for you to come on to the show." So now it's like, okay, if I do start it next week, which company's probably going to say yes to coming on as a guest first?
So real quick, Villiger, I just saw 15 different brands, blends.
Okay.
So there's at least 15.
So I'll have to do some research. I'm not saying I don't trust you. I just got to do some research.
And that's not including the Passport series. Remember the Passports? The little bitty square.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Those were neat cigars.
Those were good.
Smoke them either way.
But I feel like if we did, the number 1 from Drew Estate versus the number 16 from Dumbarton, and the number 1 from J.C. Newman versus the number 16 from Villiger, like we're just going to end up with a whole bunch of Drew Estate at the end.
Newman,
I feel like
Saka.
Villiger, or I feel like Drew Estate and Saka are probably going to be the most popular out of our.
Well, Villiger has started to tiptoe into the premium cigar market. They have been more of the working man smoke, the US mechanical market. Smoke.
Because I feel like they've been worldwide for a long time.
They're still diving deeper into. They're wanting to expand themselves into the premium market. But now all this work you're going to make them do, where they're going to have to choose and pick and this and that. Are you going to do something nice for them for all the work they're doing?
We had thought about, and again, this is still just a running idea that it have to be finished by Wednesday night next week.
You have to workshop it.
Where everybody who participates in chat, whether through Facebook or YouTube, if you participate at any point during the chat, your name gets put into a spinning wheel. And then we will, because we have cigars from each company here in studio and we have enough, do at least 4-pack giveaway, 1 from each company. I don't know if it'll be the same every week or not, but 1 Villiger, 1 Dumbarton, 1 J.C. Newman, 1 Drew Estate. And then the person whose name gets randomly drawn for participating in the show, they win a 4-pack.
So each cigars. Week, somebody will get to win something.
Yes.
So there'll be 5 prizes.
Yeah, and we might come up with a nice, bigger prize for the championship.
Makes sense.
Especially because that'll be after PCA, and we can say, "Hey, you want to send us something in the mail tomorrow when you get home?" We've got some stuff that we can.
We got a couple things.
We're heavy on a couple companies of swag. Brian says, "I got plenty of Villiger to send your way." Rick Carroll says 6432 16842. That's the format for March Madness.
Well, he thought you were going to start doing the numbers game. He was going to get ahead.
Brian and Mike are getting acquainted in the chat. Adam Wilson Villiger does have two fairly nice cigars. Maybe the two's not supposed to. It does have fairly nice cigars. I like that 1888 I smoked a couple weeks back. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
I want to try it. Villiger came out with way back when, in the old days, a cigar for ladies, and the ladies didn't want the tobacco to touch their lips, and so they used the end of goose feathers, the quill piece, the part that sticks into the goose, evidently, it's hollow, and they used that to cap over the cigar, and that was basically the first wooden tip, plastic tip kind of tip cigar, and they still have them in production. I don't think they're goose quills anymore, but that was one of their new things that nobody had ever seen before.
Bob Ellis says, I haven't smoked hardly any Villiger. I don't know much about them at all. And I think that's probably going to be the hardest part for me with Villiger, and not as hard with J.C. Newman, because I have smoked a good amount of J.C. Newman blends. But I'm probably, when it comes to Villiger, unless we just have some insane Villiger heads out there, probably going to have to do some research on each blend and maybe vote based off of a Connecticut broadleaf versus a Mexican San Andreas, or Ecuadorian Habano Connecticut versus a Ecuadorian Sumatra, you know, whatever it be, and just kind of go based off of that.
I think it might.
Maybe I say Villiger for the last episode so that I can have time to smoke Villiger cigars.
I'm kind of sitting here thinking as we're kind of workshopping this on the fly. Maybe not having 16 blends of each, but we just pick 4, 5, or 6 blends of each, so people don't have to. Because if you've got 20 people and 20 people all get involved, or they tell their friends, and let's say 40 people involved, 40 people over 16 choices is 2.3. Yeah. So I mean, you're going to have a lot of onesies, twosies.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, like I said, I haven't decided on the amount. 64 is ideal, right?
Right.
But who's to say we have enough time to go through 16 blends a show?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Now, show's 2 hours.
It's still a lot.
If I get on some, you know, if I can get, you know, Renee on,
that'd be 7 minutes per cigar with nothing else said for 2 hours.
Which seems like a lot of time, but I know from experience with my top 20, top 10 cigar lists, when I start talking about a cigar, sometimes I just start talking about the experience of the cigar, where I was, and
it is chief talk.
2 minutes can 2 minutes can turn into 10 minutes a lot quicker than you'd think. Adam Wolf says, I have a lounge near me that sells a good amount of Villiger lineup. Supremo Tobacco says the Cuya Creme is one of his favorites from Villiger. Miami was good too. I have had the Miami, and I did enjoy the Miami.
I did too.
But I have some from PCA last year that I haven't smoked yet. I got some 1888, and then I know that they've sent some new stuff for the monthly series going on for the next year that we're doing with Villiger. Plus, it's going to give us an opportunity to show a little more airtime for the Bob the Cigar Guy sponsors. While Villiger, JC Newman, and Dumbarton Tobacco Trust don't sponsor Chief Talk, you know,
per se
here, they do sponsor the shop.
They keep the lights on,
electricity, and the computer and the camera that we're currently shooting off of.
And all our pretty lights.
But you know, being here at the studio it's not like Chief Talk has a budget and Bob the Cigar Guy has a budget. It's all just one big Bob the Cigar Guy budget.
I'm surprised as because we're getting into new technology, and you know I've told y'all about the pretty much fake microphone, but the lights you don't fake, and to get good quality lights, if you get lights that are cheap, they flicker and the human eye can't really see it, but when you do it in video, you can actually kind of see it. And so you have to have these high power, they don't look like much lights, like this light right here. This little thing right here, what was it, $100?
$105.
$105 for this little thing. I mean, this thing's amazing. It does all sorts of colors. It does all sorts of everything else. But, you know, you got that little light, and then I got a light back there that costs what?
That one over there, $80.
$80 there. I got a light in front of me for $80. I got this. I mean, the technology to start stepping up into being better quality, and we are not into top shelf quality by any stretch of the imagination. It gets expensive.
Yeah. But one of the good things about that is like the aperture light, the first light that you pulled up, the small handheld one. Like we bought that over a year ago. It's still working fantastic. It's going to work for a while.
And it's so versatile because it's
you
small.
Can take it with you.
It's magnetic. Yeah. I mean, it does a lot.
Yeah, it's full really, RGB and color tone, like 3,000 K, whatever it is.
And like this thing, which I won't turn to face you because it's kind of bright. This does all sorts of options and apps. It's got a little tripod thingy on the bottom of it that you can use. But we're going to take these to PCA, so that when I'm doing the After Dark series, we'll have lights, or if we need to pop up. So having something like this gives us the ability to diversify. So when we buy things, we buy them thinking that we can use it 3, 4, 5 different ways.
Buying name brand to me only makes sense if you're willing to use it enough to make the money out of it. And like the light that I'm using currently, it's a big on tripod light. Now
Professional light.
We just bought this mesh screen, and then there's a diffuser behind it that softens up the light tremendously. That's why I don't appear as shiny and red as I used to. And we
bought that 2-3 years ago.
We had it for a while, and you bought a 3-pack.
We have a 3-pack. So if we need to, because we're going to need to upgrade. And so whenever we buy something, we think of price, but we also think of, is it scalable? Like when we were talking with Steven about getting a camera, he did a lot of research on a lot of cameras, and he said, this is the camera. And my first question was, is it going to be a good enough camera to grow with you for the next 5 to 10 years? And he says, yes. And so our newest growth is he got a new lens.
My whole thing is now freaked out.
Spirit Tobacco, thank you so much. I know you mastered the light, so I appreciate any feedback.
Yeah, this is the great thing about having these full body cameras is the ability to, make it work for you. And so you do get into this is the lens that I used to use all the time. And this lens is great because it is a variable zoom lens. And for whatever reason, I am completely fuzzed out again. Is it just going to do this do I have to do it the long way still? Come on. I don't know. That's just bugging out on me.
If you stick your tongue out.
Nope. Not doing it. You're not getting me. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I don't have the light directly on me this week. I'm only partially lit. But this is the lens that I used for a long time.
It's not working.
Variable zoom lens. This is a 28 to 70 millimeter lens.
Stogie sister, you're awesome.
If you're into cameras, the f-stop changes upon how far you have it set, as to where this is a 50 millimeter prime lens, and this one is specifically developed for macro, so nice high depth in quality when you want to get zoomed up on some stuff. If you guys follow the Chief and the Leaves Instagram, I posted a picture the other day of the Maximus foot of a cigar, and it's right up in it, detailed all the way. And then the f-stop value on that is very low, so it only focuses on a very tiny sliver, as to where this can focus as close up. If it gets farther away, the sliver opens up.
And Chief's next lens upgrade is like almost $2,000.
Yeah.
So whenever we
you want to sponsor Chief Talk?
we have got all of the merch in from Quality Importers. We do not have a way for you to buy the Quality Importers merch that we have, so we're not gonna show it and this and that. And have people reach out and say, "Hey, I want to buy one." But the plan is we're going to have
hopefully by
kits
next
for
week.
sale.
Yeah, hopefully by next week we will have our merch up from Quality Importers. Again, it was a Polio Pistola lighter, a 5-count travel humidor, and then some little cutters. We are kind of upset about our cutters because our cutters aren't. I don't think Quality Importers misled us on purpose. I think it was just because we couldn't see the other side of the image of the product. We ordered cutters that are very subpar.
We thought it was going to be, and they kind of made it seem like it was going to be the same thing that Durosate had with the cutters, with the old Perfecto cutters with the bubble top, and it's just not. It's just not what we expected. But with that, we are going to add in a Bob the Cigar Guy and Chief cigar rest from Laser Us. So you'll have a 5-count Travador, a cutter, a lighter, and
the cutters.
Cigar rest.
I don't know. We aren't going to feel very like we can't sell them for cheaper than we're allowed to.
No.
But they're not going to be very expensive. So I don't know if selling them individually as just the cutter is really going to be. I know it kind of sounds a little shady, like viable, but honestly, it's like $4 or something like that for the cutter.
I think it's 5 or 6, yeah.
Because our price is half that.
Yeah, something like that.
And we can sell it. I think we can sell it for more if we wanted to, but only to a certain percent. But
Right.
we can't drop it any lower than
What they say we have to sell it for.
Says we have to sell it for. And so I think we're not just going to sell those as the cutter. We're going to sell it as a bundle.
Right. And with that, with these cutters, I can tell you right now, if you like getting Bob the Cigar Guy swag and Chief swag, and usually we only do one-offs, I can guarantee you that this will be the first cutter we sell, and this will be the last time we sell this cutter. Yeah. So this will be an exclusive, so as to speak. Once we sell off all the bundles and the Travadors, or if it just slows down or nobody buys them, then we'll break up and start selling individual pieces. If we sell the cutters, there's a Chief cutter and there's a Bob the Cigar Guy cutter. We'll probably sell them as both.
I don't mind selling the lighters and the travel humidors as individual items because they are quality enough items.
Right. But we need to try to get the bundles.
Yeah.
First.
Well, I think the bundles. Because the bundles aren't going to be very expensive either. In relative to like what people may think they would be. Again, I don't have the number specifics right off the top of my head right now.
$1 million.
Yeah. But my goal is to have those up by next week. I know we're going to start our March Madness tournament next week, but it'd be also cool to get some sales lined up for next week as well.
But we're not going to go through the headache of the Christmas ornaments where we were selling them and then they weren't getting recorded, and then we couldn't sell them, and then we could sell them again, and then that's just unprofessional.
Yeah.
And we don't ever want to come off shady, shisty, or incompetent. So we want to make sure that we make our moves correctly, and so that's why we waited so long to get cutters, lighters, and Travadors.
But we do have them in.
Going crap.
We have them all in. We have the humidors, we have the lighters, and we have the cutters. So again, the cutters weren't exactly what we expected them to be.
They're not bad cutters. They're just not.
They're not.
They're event cutters.
Yeah,
they're better than event cutters, but they are.
I think event cutter.
Well,
fits.
I've seen some of it. I don't want people thinking of the event cutters that we've seen, because some of those event cutters are just.
They're not the jankiest, but I mean they're made by quality importers, so they're quality importers quality. It is I think if we would have had a sample, or if we would have seen what they were, like if last year at PCA, because this year at PCA hopefully we'll be able to sit down with them and talk, and then look at some stuff, and then say, oh, this is exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, and we were trying to push to get it in for November, so that we could have it for Christmas. And so we did not go in depth with the logo design.
Yeah.
We kind of went basic because it was starting to bog down. And so we just kind of said, this is good enough. Let's go with this. So the next time we do it, and maybe this is a bad idea for me to say this, but the next time we do it, it's going to be different.
A little more rigorous.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
Charles Edmondson says, hey, BTCG, you had to put the pinky to the corner of your mouth and you say $1 million.
$1 million.
But no, going back to what you were saying about the lens, that's kind of when we were talking about, this year and some of the things that we both want to accomplish. Some of those things are quality pictures, quality video, quality production. and the production is more on Bob the Cigar Guy side. We're changing some things up. Obviously, we're doing this. Is it Stogie Sister said they have the smoking den ambiance. Bob's just a little dark over there for my liking, but
Well, you've got that Rembrandt lighting going on.
yeah, which this really wasn't that expensive, so we might want to look into getting another one of those. I know you said that you had wanted to kind of change some stuff over on your side, kind of engineer some stuff. But we're like I said, I've got the macro lens. If you're following me on Instagram at Chief in the Leaves, you will have been able to have seen some of the macro.
And there's some pictures on the Bob the Cigar Guy the Instagram as well.
Yes, on the Bob Cigar Guy Instagram. This cutter is over there. They actually got ported over to my Facebook. So they're supposed to go to the Bob Cigar Guy page. But I did some shots on this with like really close-up shots on the
so crisp.
The logo, the script, and the hardware. Because I really like this thing. I'm a really big fan of this. I wear it a lot more than I thought I ever would. I actually wore it before I came over here. I went to the Ace Hardware to pick up some bird feed, and because this Ace Hardware is farther away than my Ace Hardware, but it's not when I'm over here on Thursday. When I'm over here on Thursday, I'm right there at it. So I went in there and picked up some bird seed, and the lady was like, "Well, that's a real cool bling." This older white lady, and I was like, "Thanks, appreciate that." She was like, "What's Palace Laundry?" I was like, "Oh, it's a shirt that was given to me from a cigar company." And she was like, "Oh, what's the bling?" I was like, "Oh, it's a cigar cutter." She was like, "Oh, so you smoke cigars?" "Yes, ma'am."
You should have told her that you used to work at a laundromat in Asheville or something, and that was your employee.
Some people have asked me, "Where's Palace Laundry at? I got some blankets I need to go do.
I got to wash a quilt."
So I just turn around and show them the big cigar logo on the back of the shirt.
That's funny.
Adam Wolf says Chief does post some really nice pictures on both IGs. Thanks, Adam Wolf.
Now, not all of the Instagram pictures on the Bob the Cigar Guy channel are Chiefs. I'm just going to put that out there.
There's a definite difference.
But you can see the difference between the two. Now, I am closing the gap.
You're getting better.
I am closing the gap.
You're putting more effort into your photos. Now, this is Bob the Cigar Guy's long weekend this weekend. So
expect some pictures.
Expect any photos of cigars that you see on my Facebook will be from him until I delete them. And then most of the pictures over on the Bob Cigar Guy Instagram will most likely be from Bob Cigar Guy. Now I do have a couple Cuban cigar here that will make it over onto the Bob the Cigar Guy Instagram.
I think we talked about last week. You said you had only smoked a couple different Cubans, and so I dragged those out of they were in my humidor, and you need to be able to experience the different Cuban cigars. I know you're not a Cubanista. You don't really care for the Cubans.
I'm a New World guy. I appreciate the New World experience.
But that regional is a little heavier.
My Cuban portfolio is limited, very limited. I don't think my mind will change at all. But we do have a couple guys who are in the Deadly Breakfast Club who are international and post Cubans often. And I'm like, oh, man, those are beautiful.
Right.
It's awesome.
Right.
And it's cigar heritage. I mean, it's like you got to know where you've been to know where you're going. We can't discredit the Cuban market for where the market is today.
Right.
But again, in the same fold, you can't discredit the New World market, because the New World market has taken and driven the cigar world into full existence.
A friend of mine at work sent me this picture. He said, "Hey, what do you think about that cigar?" And my response to him was, "Well, it's a cigar," because there are so many discrepancies into that cigar.
The band work.
The head's not right. The Taino Indian's not right. I don't think the Habana Cuba script is correct. I'm not sure. The white boxes have black under them, but they don't have black on top. And it just, there's some things in there that kind of scream to me, this may not be legit.
And that's one of the things that kind of sucks, though, is like, it sucks that you do have to fight against all of the fakes out there, because that cigar band, like, if you didn't know any better,
You think you got a
you
banging
would
cigar?
say, man, this is a Cuban cigar. And, to the credit of the fake Cuban cigars out
Right
there,
there.
like, a lot of them, it's like the same exact cigar.
Right, it is the same exact cigar. Now that I'm looking
But
at
you
it,
bought it on.
I bought it from Jamaica, and I guarantee you, if I cut it open, it's got nothing but crumbs and little pieces of tobacco, and that's the same exact cigar. I have to take a picture of that and send it to them.
But it is, like, a lot of times it is Cuban tobacco.
No, not always.
A lot of times it is. It's Cuban tobacco that's just been bagged up and sold to.
It's dumpster dive tobacco swept off the floor, and it's not always Cuban. They will take it from the Dominican, they'll take it from Nicaragua, they'll take it from anywhere else, and they will buy the bands.
I did think it was funny when we went to Nicaragua for Cigar Safari in 2020. They took us to a mom and pop shop to buy
leather goods,
Nicaraguan trinkets. No, well, it was the same day as the leather shop.
Mm.
But before we went to the leather shop, we went
That's
to
right.
like a little corner mart where they sold shirts and Nicaraguan
purses
stuff
and bracelets,
but there was a small glass cabinet that had a bunch of the fake Cohiba glass boxes in there. And it's like, man, you're right down the street from Drew Estate, Hoyta, Nicaragua, all these other Nicaraguan companies, and you're peddling these fake Cubans.
I bet they get sold too.
Oh, I bet so. I bet they get
sold. We've been to events, and people will dress up really nice, and they'll hardly smoke their Cuban, and they'll walk around with it, and they make sure that everybody sees the big band. And I kind of glance at it, and I'm sitting there going, "That's fake." And I'm not going to say anything, because why cause problems in people's lives?
If it's somebody that I care about, I try to mention it, because I don't want them
smoking bad stuff.
Yeah, I don't want them smoking hair or poo,
pieces of corn, or
stuff that was on the floor somewhere in a trash can, on somebody's table where they ate their lunch or whatnot.
Right.
But
if you want to swag out and be the man.
I sent a thing to the group chat on the Dead Leaf Breakfast Club last week, I think it was. I saw this guy on TikTok. He was live rolling cigars, and he actually had already rolled them, and he was gluing the bands on with purple Elmer's glue stick. He literally had a purple Elmer's glue stick sitting on his desk, and he was lining it. He had a cigar for reference that he had the band on. He was doing it for a wedding. And he would take the other cigar, line it up, put his finger where the band would go, take the glue stick, glue one part of the band, wrap it on the cigar, and then set it to the side. And he just did it over and over and over.
The glue that you put on the cap is the glue that you put on the band.
It's supposed to be pectin.
Pectin. It's a vegetable glue.
Answer the comments for a little bit. I'm gonna see if I still have the photo on my camera.
Chief does post some really nice pictures in both Instagrams. Stogie Sister said, "Whoa!" Supreme Tobacco said the counterfeit Cuban market is insane. A couple years ago, statistic was that Cuban cigars are the number 2, only to Apple products, as counterfeited of things in this world. Stogie Sister said, "Yeah, it is." Batman's on. Rob Cash Footy, Grandpa Batman says, "Sup, boys?" Hey, Rob.
So this
Supreme
is
Tobacco.
This is the still from the.
Oh man, you showing a dude's face in there
from the live stream, and he's got the cigar for reference here,
right?
So you can see it's got the band on it, right? And then he's got these 3 cigars that are in line. He's got the cigar band that he's got. It had some initials for the wedding couple, and then there is his purple Elmer's glue stick. I was not lying. And he would, where all that like chopped tobacco stuff is on the ground, he would lay it down on the ground or on the table flat,
right.
And then he would Elmer's glue one side of it and then flip it up onto the cigar itself.
But in all honesty, in all reality and honesty, as long as that glue, he does a real good job and he keeps it just on the band and the glue does not touch the cigar, it's not that bad. I mean, it's unprofessional, but if that's all he's got, did it show him rolling the cigars?
No. But I did look at his profile, and he does roll cigars live at events. So I'm not sure if he rolled all those cigars
Earlier,
or he bought those cigars from
Unbanded.
a company unbanded. But he was like, because I was gonna roast him, but I decided to not say anything at all and just took a picture and went to the group chat. But I did go to his page, and he does have videos of him rolling long filler cigars with binders and then handing. And that's the thing that I'm not a big fan of, is when people do that kind of stuff and they, with filler and the binder and the wrapper, like none of it's aged. Now it might be aged apart from
individually, right?
From the cigar itself, but it's not aged.
So you're gonna have a wet wrapper and dry.
So like
dry
when Drew Estate does their rolling class at the Underground booth for barn smokers, the cigar is already rolled except for the wrapper.
Right.
Now I'm not sure if they tell you at the rolling station, hey, don't smoke this today, smoke it a little bit later. But I know you get Underground cigars at that activation. So you have an Underground cigar, you're rolling an Underground cigar. So, but it's just the only thing you're adding to that cigar is the wrapper leaf.
At all the events I've ever been to where there's been a live roller, they show up with all their cigars already in the molds bunched out. And then they just pull them out of the molds. They chop the end off of it.
Now
and
this
then
stuff,
they roll it. And
these were not the ones that I was watching him do, the videos he was taking of himself at these weddings. They were not coming out of molds. It was bunched tobacco, and then he put the binder leaves on it, and then did a whole bunch of roll, pull, roll, pull, roll, pull, roll, pull. And they were thick cigars, so they're going to be drawing really loose. But at that point, you're kind of just paying for the experience. Oh, I had a cigar roller at my wedding, which is cool. So I'm not knocking the guy for that. I am knocking him for the Elmer's glue, though.
Shad said it's better than snot.
Yeah, I've got that pulled up. Photos de Puros says it's the Elmer's special. I'm gonna not say what I was gonna say. Robert Cash says, "What's the issue? We all ate glue as a kid."
True. Paste.
Robert Cash still eats glue as a kid.
Airplane glue.
Yeah, body. Whoo. No, that model cement.
Yeah, that model cement. The contact
get you
cement.
high quick. I don't know. Maybe you could get a glue that does like the what is it? The mountains on Coors Light. When it's cold.
Colors.
When it's cold, when the mountains are blue, it's right.
Right.
When you smoke your cigar and your band starts to turn a hint of dinge, take the band off.
That's funny.
You're getting too close. But I do want to come over here real quick and give a shout out to Chris Duque, Adam Wolf, and Jay Bates for hitting the love button on Facebook. And Michael Zakovic, Tom Fisher, Charles Adamson, Dan Burns, Sammy Flo, Rick Carroll, Andrew Grigg, and Brad Haney for hitting the like button.
Chris Duque just celebrated a big anniversary.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't see that post. I haven't been on Facebook at all today.
I think it was yesterday.
I really wasn't on Facebook yesterday either. I don't know on Facebook much anymore. Most of my stuff is through Instagram now.
You're supposed to be the social media manager over all of our platforms, including Facebook.
He said super glue because he is super. I thought you were Batman, not Superman. Did you change up on us?
Do you wear your underwear on the outside of your clothes?
But no, I saw that and immediately went to the group chat and said, look at this idiot. So it was kind of funny to listen to him because I watched him for about 10 minutes. And a lot of people in the comments were asking questions like, well, what about this brand? What about this brand? And this guy, I don't know. I think he said he was in Miami or South Florida.
Would make sense.
He had not smoked a lot of New World brands because people had asked him about Roma Craft. People asked him about Dumbarton. People asked him about Crowned Heads, Tatawahe, and there was another brand that was relatively newer, last 20 years or whatnot. But he kept talking about how he smoked a lot of like Cuban stuff, which everybody says they smoke Cuban stuff.
Well, props to him though that he didn't act like he knew something he didn't know.
Well, he was honest about, and a lot of the stuff he talked about was just tobacco types. He was talking about how, and a lot of the stuff he liked was all Hispanic heritage. So, not a bunch of Connecticut broadleaf was brought up, or and I say Hispanic heritage, but Mexican San Andreas. He didn't smoke Mexican San Andreas because that was asked. Robert Cash says Composite Superman. Go look him up. I'll let Bob Cigar tell me composite. Shad Bates hit the love button on Facebook. Appreciate
Love
that.
Shad
and Robert
Bates.
Cash.
Shad Bates is awesome.
Robert Cash hit the like button over on Facebook as well. But I gotta this JFR Lunatic Habano, really good.
Really
good. I'm gonna have to ask Fabian for another one of these at PCA, because this is a really good cigar. I've really enjoyed this. I had another JFR. It was the one in the silver, so maybe that was the Maduro.
A little bigger.
Yeah, and I did not like it at all. But this I like. It wasn't creamy, and it did start off pretty bitter, kind of peppery, a little earthy, minerality.
Oh wait, you're coming up with a ton of flavors in the beginning of your cigar.
I did it just for you.
Oh, I thought you were becoming a good cigar reviewer.
Ask Steve Saga.
With your palate personified.
Robert Cash wants to know, what's that tiny thing you just lit up?
This is all right. We only got another 10 minutes, and so I didn't want to sit there and not smoke a cigar, and I had it sitting on my desk. This is the Crown's OG Natural Leaf. 2 cigars for $1 and change.
Robert Cash, you would actually like these.
They actually taste really good. They taste like a good cherry pipe tobacco. They really have a nice flavor to them.
They smell very. I'm not sure if it's cherry. I smell. Maybe it is, now that you say it. But it is very sweet smelling. That's a cigar that smells like somebody's lit up a pipe.
Yeah, it does.
Not hating on that at all.
Not something that I would call a premium whatever, but I mean, you get 2 cigars for $1 and change. I won't feel bad if I have to pitch it. It's kind of like the little acids, kind of like the
Frenchies.
No, C notes, which I didn't like.
I like the Frenchies, the acid Frenchies.
I still have some Frenchies.
I got some. I was gonna say, we talked about this a little bit last week, but I already do have 3, or we have. I say I because I've booked them. We have 3 interviews already picked out and time slotted for PCA. Happy to say that JC Newman, I was the first person to reach out to JC Newman, or maybe I wasn't the first person to reach out. I was the first person that they said, yeah, let's do that time.
Can we tell the exciting JC Newman news for PCA? I'm stoked about this.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, it's not like, we talk about PCA with people and they can't go. So I guess, we can.
It just kind of shows that we actually made somewhat of an impact with people, because we went to the first PCA. It was our first PCA, and they have all these events and stuff. All the manufacturers invite people to different things, and we didn't get invited because we're brand hammer new. But we got invited to the media party for JC Newman.
Yeah.
Which is at some casino resort, with hors d'oeuvres and adult beverages, and of course cigars.
Probably the thing I'm most excited about is the cigars.
I'm excited about being in that room and see who else in that room.
I think it's a terrace.
And doing some networking and really getting to talk to the Newman family will be there. And I really want to talk to the young Newman and tell him that, you and Jackson did the Legos and how appreciative I was of him.
His name is Drew, by the way.
Thank you for Drew sending it, because a lot of people at PCA said, yeah, we're going to send you this. Yeah, we're going to send you that. And if that would have been the truth, if they would have sent everything they were going to send, we would have had to have a whole nother humidor this size. And JC Newman was one of the ones, and he sent a personal hand note. I got it at my desk somewhere that said, I just wanted to thank you for coming to our booth, and I wanted to send this to you, like we talked about, for your son and his son to be able to put Legos together. I love playing with Legos. I used to play with Legos in my dad's office at the factory. And so it's really touching to me to be able to share that with your family, which really impacted to me and just solidified how awesome the Newman family is.
We've shown this before on Chief Talk, but this is the legit Lego, actual Lego, 124th scale El Rolo. It says JC Newman Cigar right there in front of. I'm competing with an ashtray in my elbow right now. Forgive me. So it's the little JC Newman Cigar Co. right there on the front. I got to remember to keep it this way because the light's coming from that side. But yeah, this is a little miniature scale El Rolo that they sent. They have it on their website for, I think it's $100.
110, I think.
Really cool. On the back of it, it's got one of their machine rollers where they do some of their machine rolled cigars, and then down here in the bottom are some cool little tobacco bales. But yeah, it was really neat, really cool. That
I wonder how much it would cost for Lego to make a Smoke Easy Studio Lego.
You just go to the Lego store and ask for 4 bricks.
That's about it. And then cram all the tools and cigars you can in the little squares.
Yeah, you just buy. You buy one of the Lego City packs with like the dump trucks, so they have a broom, a shovel, and a trash can, and you just throw it in a little spot. Same Flow says they are a classy company. That's fire. No, it is. It's awesome. It's really neat. Robert Cash says, flex the dad bod for your fans. Yeah. Down 22.8 pounds. No, I'm not going to show it on Chief Talk. But I sent the Deadly Breakfast Club chat a side-by-side photo comparison of me in the same shirt and shorts today, the 15th of February, and January 1st, and how much of a difference it is. And it is
remarkable.
Pretty. I wouldn't say remarkable is the word, but it's a pretty stark contrast with just how different.
That's a big difference.
So the dad bod is that's what he's referring to there. But no, as I stood up, I was like, oh, I didn't have as much belly in that photo. Brian says Drew seems like such a stand-up guy. He is. And then he laughed at the 4 bricks. That's basically how it would be. It's about 4 Duplo bricks. We'll do that. No, we can do a much bigger scale
right.
than 124th. And then Robert Cash says put DE stickers all over it. Sammy Flo, good night, my brother. We're about to peace out ourselves over here.
Yeah, I was up late last night. We had that Journey concert that we went to.
Thanks, Adam Wolf. Appreciate that. But no, big fan of the Newmans. I'm excited about the pre-party. Mike said a guy named Mike might be in that room.
Uh-oh.
He better be, or I'm not staying. I'm walking in and walking right back out. But no, I am excited because it's like PCA has their industry parties, right? But this is a JC Newman media party, so it kind of has me thinking like, ooh, are they going to release something at the media party? You know, that they're releasing at PCA and we're going to be able to get our hands on it or something.
I know Drew State used to do media parties and they gave out special sets years ago.
But no, I'm a big fan I'm excited to see what they've got coming down the pipe. And
they did say they're putting out a new El Baton. Did you see that press release
was
today?
it a new El Baton?
I think they're putting out a new Vitola.
No. That's what they're sending us.
Okay. Well, they said the El Baton in the past, however short period of time, they've doubled their market value on that with a new branding and new blending and the refresh, I guess you could call it, of that blend. And I know you like it. I like it as well.
I like the El Baton. Yeah. No,
I do.
I'm excited to get
Good price
more of
point,
them in
too.
the studio. Obviously, my little Chief and the Leaves heart gets excited whenever they say they're sending us stuff. Obviously, now doing sponsored videos with them, I'm going to have more. But I am excited to get some more El Baton because I think I smoked through most of those by myself.
Wait, I thought they're sending that to me for reviews.
Well, I mean, yeah, but still. Well, they're sending it to the Bob Cigar Guy channel. Who's to say that I can't do the review too, or just do the review, right?
Well, I mean, if they want live 2-hour content, I mean, you are the king of the channel for that. But when it comes to reviews, the old man's got a little bit of skills, just a little bit. As Steven has dead air as he's looking at his phone.
Sorry, more notifications.
Probably watching soccer scores.
No, Donald James, thank you for hitting the like button.
Oh, DJ James.
Will Den also hit the like button over on Facebook. Appreciate that. Either you guys smoked the Amazon Basin release this year? No,
Yes.
Not this year's release.
I have. You have them.
Not this year's release. That was last year's.
I think that's what he's talking about. Then release a new one for 2024.
They are.
They haven't yet.
Chevetta Report had the article. But with that, we are going to bid you guys adieu. That means goodbye. But next week we are going to start the Cigar Madness tournament breakdown. I think we're going to start with Drew Estate. I'm not going to say we are, but before the show starts, I will put out some sort of media something, probably through Bob the Cigar Guy on Instagram and on Facebook. I might even collaborate with myself on there just so it gets posted on my Instagram as well. On Chief and Leaves. If you're not following Bob the Cigar Guy or Chief and Leaves on Instagram, go do that. Especially Bob the Cigar Guy because that pertains to anything here. And then Chevetta Report as well. I'm sure I'll put up an article there because we have a lot of people who are subscribed to the email list who probably don't come and watch Chief Talk every week. But we are going to have a giveaway after each episode. So your participation is requested during the show.
So giveaway starting next week?
A giveaway starting next week. That's right. And then we're going to do that for 4 consecutive weeks. We're going to take a break for PCA, and then the week after PCA is the last Thursday of March, and we will do the final showdown and probably some sort of swag something giveaway then as well. Gary Zanstra with the good night, everyone. Have a good weekend. Supreme Tobacco, love you all. Have a great night. Adam Wolf, have a great night. Family, catch you next week. Charles Addington, night all. Robert Cash says, remember the title match is at the end of WrestleMania, a.k.a. Drew Estate. Bob Ellis, take care, everyone. Take care, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We will see you next week with, hopefully, a whole lot of fun. And if you're not currently subscribed on the mailing list of Chevetta Report, do it. Have you checked out ChevettaReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevettaReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevettaReport.com.
What are you doing? What are you doing here? Show's over. Go home. Go home. Show's over. What are you waiting for? You waiting for another show? This is a one-ticket entry. Go. Bye. Go. Go.